2024 is coming to an end, and I wanted to reflect on the best games that this year had to offer. And honestly, it's better than drawing up a New Year's resolution or whatever. So let's just jump right in. Elden Ring is one of the best games I've ever played. The Souls formula that FromSoft refined over the years culminated into this dark, open-world fantasy setting like we've never seen before. As 2022's Game of the Year, an expansion to this game needed to live up to the expectations it had set. Long story short, it did. Shadow of the Erdtree adds a whole lot of content to a game that has an absurd amount already, while not even being a third of the size of the base game's map. The art style and color theory throughout is just as good as the base game. Add to that the numerous new weapons, armors, items, spells, and ashes of war to mess with. That's not enough? How about new enemy types and 7 new main bosses, some of which were extremely memorable, both in presentation and combat. Astro Bot is best summed up as joy. This game is one of the best platformers I've ever played, and the vibrant mood is just steady throughout the game. A cute art style with breathtaking fidelity and a full spectrum of feedback on the DualSense make for a visually rich game that responds very tightly to your actions. The variety of biomes and climactic boss fights makes for some of the best levels I've played this year. But don't take my word for it. Here's what people had to say about the game.
It's very addictive.
Game is absolutely fun.
It gives you a certain sense of texture. The colors, the sounds, the attention to detail. When you're playing it, you just feel pure joy. The integration.
I knew I'd like what Black Myth Wukong was serving up as soon as I played that intro. It sets up the narrative for the rest of the game and shows you just how much of a Giga Chad Sun Wukong really is. So naturally, I played this game obsessively for a ridiculous amount of time. Aside from the stellar narrative, this game's visuals, animations, and level design are genuinely breathtaking to look at. The levels also hide a ton of secret areas and bosses that are optional, but you really shouldn't miss out on these. The enemy variety is a key aspect to enjoying the combat, making every encounter feel diverse and satisfying. The bosses in this game not only act as roadblocks, but also have an integral role to play in the game's narrative. The secret ending that you can achieve in this game is another reason why I feel so strongly about it. I won't spoil it for you, but if you're familiar with Journey to the West, you absolutely have to play it. And if not, you still do. Helldivers 2 is one of the best co-op games I've ever played, period. Dropping in with fellow divers to eradicate bugs and cranky bots hell-bent on destroying Super Earth is a cathartic experience. An experience that contains intense combat, looting, scrambling for your life as you heal, or even kill your teammates by mistake. The gameplay loop of fighting hordes of enemies, unlocking stratagems and weapons, upgrading your warship, and dropping back are super addictive, and very few games manage to capture both the chaos and the utter joy of trying to survive with your boys. Helldivers 2 is a certified banger. Atlas really cooked with metaphor Refantazio. I mean, they have a vast catalogue of amazing Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games, but in my opinion, their best game so far has to be Metaphor. It's the medieval setting that does it for me. While there are many gameplay similarities to the Persona games, they translate very well into this setting. The art style, as usual, carries the game visually. The story and world building are two strong suits that this game boasts of. The game also adds a lot of new tweaks to the combat. Personas are now archetypes and can be equipped on any squad member. The new synthesis moves where you have 2 squad members teaming up are clutch. You can also restart battles without having to reload saves, and this really takes the sting out of bad RNG. You can even kill weaker enemies in the overworld without having to actually enter combat. At the same time, you have a dodge roll that helps you avoid unwanted encounters if you're trying to save up on MP or are too beat up to fight. I really hope they expand on this new IP. It's dope. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 offers some of the most satisfying combat I've experienced this year. Just something about crushing an unholy amount of space bugs as a hulking ultramarine really speaks to me. While the campaign is not too long, the co-op PvE mode gives you an immensely replayable mode, while kicking things up a notch by introducing more complex boss fights and random enemy spawns. The progression system exclusive to this mode is also excellent and keeps things fresh. Let's not forget the fact that this game also has PvP with cross-platform matchmaking. The Silent Hill 2 remake is totally justified given that the original Silent Hill 2 was released way back in 2001. This game combines psychological horror with heart-pounding action effortlessly. The story is the same as the original, where you get a letter from your dead wife and set out to figure out what's really going on. The environments and their expanded scale make traversing this ghost town a very creepy but immersive experience. The overall combat lets you dodge attacks and use familiar weapons such as the steel pipe. You can even aim down sights now. This really works for me since it ends up feeling grounded, but still gives you that extra layer of combat, just like in the Resident Evil 4 remake. If you're a fan of psychological horror, Silent Hill 2 won't disappoint. Stellar Blade turned out to be one of the best action games I played this year. It's visually stunning and has some amazing soundtracks. However, the best part about this game is the gameplay itself. The combat is extremely tight with hack and slash elements paired with a Souls-like touch. The deflects and perfect dodges totally seal the rhythm for me. Specifically with boss fights where you're incentivized to use your entire toolkit, which even includes guns. The progression system is super engaging too and makes finding upgrade materials and acquiring skills something to look forward to. The game is also filled with segments that involve platforming, puzzle solving, and other fun inclusions like fishing, which is all very tastefully implemented. I highly recommend this to anyone who's into third-person action-oriented gameplay. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the second game in the trilogy of games remaking the original Final Fantasy VII, which was released all the way back in 1997. This game is filled to the brim with content. This could be a gift or a curse for completionists, but the fact that the developers went and added all these mini-games, side quests, and an open world full of such variety is insane. I'm talking about side quests that feel extremely curated and not like filler just meant to give you tangible reward. Traversal isn't annoying either thanks to the Chocobo. The mini games in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are nuts by the way. Chocobo racing, let's go. Queen's Blood, amazing. Playing the piano, let's do it. Aside from looking fantastic, this game offers some banging combat. It's identical to Remake with the additional synergy abilities where characters come together to execute an attack. Alongside an array of new materia, the new folio system lets you unlock synergy abilities, buffs, and new moves as well. All of these are a great addition. By the way, answer something for me. Tifa or Aerith? Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess is an action strategy game that is wholly inspired by Japanese culture. But first, let's talk about the gameplay. It's set in Mount Kafuku, which happens to be corrupted by yokai and defilement. You're tasked with protecting Yoshiro, who's basically a goddess as far as you are concerned, as she cleanses the land. You do this by rescuing villagers and assigning them strategic roles during daytime, while also collecting points to have Yoshiro progress to the door at the end of the level. When it's nighttime, you fight alongside them while defending Yoshiro from waves of yokai. While the real-time combat is simplistic, the fluid and graceful animations make every scenario satisfying to engage with. It's a medium-length game that respects your time and more importantly, respects the vision it's set out to realize. Okay, it's time to take a little break from the AAA lineup for this indie game that took the world by storm this year. Balatro combines poker mechanics with roguelike deck building elements that challenge players to strategize using unique Joker cards, tarot cards, and planet cards. Add unlockable decks to the mix and you have a perfect excuse for one more round. Though the game offers endless replayability, there is an endgame to get to, and boy is it worth the challenge. Balatro started off as a game that I play in between games for me, and soon it turned into the only game I was playing for a while. Tekken 8 is chock full of features and has a few new tricks up its sleeve that earned it a spot on this list. The heat system opens up new combo opportunities which encourages aggressive play. The destructible environments are a cool addition and make the fights look way more visceral and satisfying. While this game has great options to play offline, the netcode being at its best makes the online play so much better. Thankfully, the game hasn't eased up on the depth of combat and allows you to really take your skills, should you possess them, to the ceiling of choice. This is probably the best looking and feature-heavy Tekken has been so far, so if you enjoy fighting games, definitely give this one a shot. So that was a quick look at some of the games I enjoyed this year. Which ones did you enjoy playing? Did I miss out on something that you enjoyed? Let us know in the comments, and while you're at it, wait. Don't forget to check out our Instagram if you want a chance at winning some sweet PlayStation merch. Anyways, while you're at it, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. I'm out. Bye.
PlayStation